What if the ultimate blueprint for turning life's hardest moments into your greatest source of power was written not in a modern self-help book, but etched into the stones of ancient history over 2,000 years ago? Imagine walking through a personal hurricane, feeling the wind and rain lash against you, yet standing with a stillness so profound that nothing, absolutely nothing, can disturb the quiet center of your being. That sounds like a fantasy, right? Like a power reserved for monks and mystics. But this isn't about magic. It's about a mindset forged in the slums and palaces of ancient Rome, a practical philosophy called Stoicism. It teaches one radical idea: you can't control the storm, but you have absolute authority over your anchor. In a world spinning faster than ever, where the ground beneath us feels perpetually shaky, this ancient wisdom might just be the steady ground we desperately need. Here's the thing that often gets missed. Stoicism isn't a dusty collection of passive thoughts. It's an active, dynamic way of living. It's about engineering a life of resilience, intention, and genuine fulfillment, regardless of what gets thrown at you. It's not about building a wall around your emotions, but learning to navigate them like a skilled captain navigates treacherous waters. Whether you're wrestling with anxiety, staring down a major setback, or just feel like the daily grind is wearing you down, stay with me. Today, we're going to unpack the core principles of Stoic thought and reveal how they can fundamentally reshape not just your perspective, but your entire reality. If you're ready to build that unshakable inner foundation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning of a journey towards mastering your own mind. Have you ever caught yourself fuming in a grocery line that's too slow, or felt your mood sink because of a single thoughtless comment online? We've all been there. These aren't just minor annoyances, they're daily tests of our peace. But Stoicism hands us a lens that can completely reframe these moments. It gives us a tool of incredible power, the ability to laser focus only on what is within our sphere of control. The philosopher Epictetus, born into slavery, put it this way: "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Let that sink in for a moment. We can't make traffic disappear. We can't control the weather, and we certainly can't control the opinions of strangers. The energy we waste trying to fight these things is energy we drain from our own lives. What we can control, however, is our internal response. This isn't just old wisdom, it's echoed by modern psychology. The core of cognitive behavioral therapy, for instance, is built on this exact premise. Our thoughts about an event, not the event itself, drive our feelings and actions. Think about it. You're stuck in that traffic jam, late for an appointment. You have a choice. You can let your blood pressure spike, grip the wheel, and fester in anger, accomplishing absolutely nothing. Or you can acknowledge the situation, accept it, and flip on a podcast or an audiobook. The traffic hasn't moved, but your entire experience has shifted. Your stress evaporates and you've reclaimed your peace. This principle applies to everything: our careers, our relationships, our personal goals. As the Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." So the next time you feel that familiar surge of frustration, pause and ask yourself the Stoic question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, your only job is to let it go and choose your response. It's a simple practice, but it's the foundation of an unshakable life. Now, this leads us to a second, seemingly impossible idea. What if obstacles weren't roadblocks, but actually the road itself? The Stoics had a genius for flipping perspective. We're conditioned to see challenges as barriers to our happiness. But thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus saw them as fuel. Their message? When life throws you a curveball, don't duck. Ask what it can teach you. Marcus Aurelius wrote one of the most powerful lines in all of philosophy: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is a profound reframe. He's saying that the very thing blocking your path is, in fact, the path itself. It's the material you use to build your character. The obstacle tests you, reveals your weaknesses, and forces you to grow. By struggling against it, you don't just overcome it. You become someone who is capable of overcoming even more. This mindset transforms us from passive victims into active learners. Think about a time you faced rejection, maybe from a job, a creative project, or a relationship. It's easy to spiral into self-pity, but what if that rejection was simply data? What if it was feedback pointing you toward a skill you need to develop, a new approach you hadn't considered, or a path that is truly meant for you? Every rejection becomes a course correction. Or consider a personal conflict. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also a live fire exercise in patience, empathy, and communication. It's a chance to truly understand another person's perspective and to refine your own ability to navigate difficult conversations. Epictetus captured the essence of this when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The obstacle is the raw material. Your reaction is the tool that shapes it into something valuable. So when you're faced with a challenge, big or small, pause and reframe it. Ask yourself, what is this situation here to teach me? How can this make me stronger or wiser? Obstacles are not just hurdles. They are the gym equipment for your soul. This brings us to a concept we hear constantly but rarely practice: living in the now. We're told to be present, but what does that actually mean in a world designed to distract us? For the Stoics, it was everything. Living in the present means anchoring yourself in this exact moment, not letting your mind be a slave to regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. It's the realization that life, in its full, messy, beautiful reality, only ever happens now. Marcus Aurelius was adamant about this. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. He knew that the present is the only place where we have any power. The past is a memory. The future is a guess. The present is a gift, which is why they call it the present. Why is it so hard to stay here? Because our minds are like unruly monkeys, constantly swinging from the branch of a past regret to the branch of a future worry. This mental noise robs us of the depth and beauty available in this very second. How do we practice this? It starts with tiny acts of mindfulness. When you eat, really taste your food. When you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet. When someone is speaking to you, listen to understand, not just to reply. These small anchors pull you back to the now. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." He understood that mortgaging our peace for a future that hasn't arrived is a fool's errand. This isn't about ignoring tomorrow. It's about finding a balance where we learn from the past and plan for the future, without letting those thoughts consume the only moment we truly own. This one. Every breath is a reset button, an opportunity to come back to the now. Let's cherish it, because this moment right here is where life is actually happening. Now, to be present, to navigate obstacles, and to control our reactions, we need one essential, non-negotiable ingredient: self-discipline. That word might sound like a prison sentence. It might conjure images of rigid schedules and joyless routines. But let's shatter that image right now. Self-discipline is not about restriction. It's about liberation. It's the power to choose your future self over your present self. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest values, not your fleeting impulses. It's saying yes to the things that truly matter and no to the things that don't, even when the no is hard. Think about it. Sticking to a workout when you're tired, saving money instead of making an impulse purchase, turning off the endless scroll to work on a passion project. These are the small, daily battles of self-discipline. And every time you win one, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Marcus Aurelius connected this directly to our inner power. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Self-discipline is the practical application of that power. It's controlling your impulses, mastering your desires, and directing your actions despite the noise and temptation of the external world. Seneca understood that true freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's wanting what you have chosen. It's being governed by your own reasoned will, not by your appetites. Why is this so critical? Because we are creatures of habit. As Aristotle noted, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Self-discipline is the architect of those habits. It's not about one grand, heroic gesture of willpower. It's about the small, consistent choices you make every single day. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, you build it by starting small. Pick one area, your diet, your sleep schedule, your screen time. Set a small, achievable goal and hit it for one day, then another. Epictetus reminds us that no great thing is created suddenly. Self-discipline is built through 1,000 small victories. It's not about perfection. It's about progress, about choosing again and again what's right over what's easy. That path leads to a life you don't need a vacation from. This mastery over ourselves naturally leads to a deeper mastery over our emotional world. We all experience a storm of feelings, anger, sadness, frustration. That's part of being human. But the key isn't to avoid the storm, it's to learn how to dance in the rain. This is emotional resilience. It's the superpower that allows us to feel our emotions fully, understand their message, and then choose a response, rather than being blindly swept away by them. The Stoics were masters of this inner terrain. Marcus Aurelius's reminder that we have power over our minds is the bedrock of emotional resilience. It tells us that while we can't control the trigger, we have absolute control over our response. Seneca saw life's hardships as training grounds for the character. He taught that by facing our feelings with awareness and patience, we don't just endure them, we learn from them. We grow stronger, we become wiser. But how do we actually build this resilience? It starts with self-awareness. When a powerful emotion hits, don't react immediately. Give yourself permission to feel it. Acknowledge it without judgment. Okay, I'm feeling intense anger right now. Then take a step back. Become a curious observer of your own mind. What triggered this? What is this feeling trying to tell me about my needs or boundaries? This simple pause is where your power lies. It's the space between the stimulus and your response. In that space is your freedom. Aristotle spoke of the golden mean, the balance between excess and deficiency. Emotional resilience isn't about suppressing your feelings or being controlled by them. It's about finding that balanced response. It's about honoring your anger without letting it dictate a destructive action. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, spoke of integrating all parts of our psyche, including the shadow. This process of confronting, understanding, and integrating our emotions is the very heart of developing resilience. So the next time you're in the grip of a strong feeling, remember Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Build your toolkit, journal, talk to a trusted friend, take a walk, and most importantly, treat yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a friend. Emotional resilience isn't about never falling. It's about learning how to get back up, stronger and more self-aware than before. This brings us to a concept that might seem dark at first, but is actually one of the most life-affirming practices imaginable: memento mori. It's a Latin phrase meaning remember that you will die. The Stoics, from the emperor to the slave, kept this thought close, not to create fear, but to ignite a deep, profound appreciation for every single breath. They knew that by keeping the finitude of life in mind, we would stop postponing our joy and start living with intention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't morbid, it's a radical call to action. It strips away the trivial and forces us to focus on what truly matters. When you remember that your time is limited, you stop sweating the small stuff. That annoying email, that minor slight from a coworker, it all fades into insignificance. You start to prioritize connection over conflict, purpose over procrastination. Seneca wrote an entire essay on the shortness of life, bemoaning that we are not given a short life, but we make it short by wasting so much of it. He urged us not to let life slip through our fingers while we're busy chasing meaningless things. How do we incorporate this without it feeling like a dark cloud? It's a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing it as a deadline, see it as a gift. It's the reason a sunset is beautiful, because you know it will end. It's the reason a moment with a loved one is precious, because it is fleeting. Think about the dreams you've been putting off, the trip you always wanted to take, the conversation you've been meaning to have, the book you want to write. Memento Mori whispers, do it now. Not out of fear, but out of a deep love for the life you've been given. It encourages you to live authentically, to speak your truth, to love openly, and to be fully present. When we truly internalize that our time is finite, we stop living on autopilot. We start savoring the taste of our coffee, the laughter of a child, the feeling of the sun on our skin. Memento Mori isn't about the end. It's about making the middle matter so much that the end holds no fear. Let it be the catalyst for a life lived with purpose, passion, and profound gratitude. And that word, gratitude, is the natural partner to remembering our mortality. It's the practice that transforms everything. It's a simple concept, yet its impact is revolutionary. It's about deliberately shifting your focus from what you lack to the abundance that already surrounds you. On those days when everything feels like an uphill battle, gratitude is the secret weapon that changes the entire battlefield. The Stoics were masters of this. They believed that happiness wasn't about getting more, but about wanting what you already have. Marcus Aurelius started each day with a practice of gratitude. He would remind himself of the precious privilege of being alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This is the foundation. It's recognizing the immense value of existence itself. Seneca warned against the trap of endless desire, noting that chasing more is like trying to fill a leaky vessel. He suggested that by appreciating what we have and understanding that the greatest riches are often the simplest, we find true contentment. Epictetus encouraged his students to be grateful for their current circumstances, not because they are perfect, but because they are the raw material for growth and virtue. How do we make this a daily habit? It's simple, but it requires consistency. Every evening, take just 2 minutes to reflect on 3 things you were grateful for that day. It can be profound, the support of a friend. Or it can be beautifully mundane, a really good cup of coffee, a warm bed, the sound of rain on the roof. This simple act rewires your brain. Over time, it literally trains your brain to scan the world for positives, not threats. It shifts your baseline outlook from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude also means finding the lesson in the challenge. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" This reframe turns every experience, good or bad, into a gift. It also deepens our connection with others. A sincere thank you, a note of appreciation. These small acts are the glue of strong relationships. Modern science backs this up. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly sleep better, have lower stress levels, and report higher levels of happiness. It's not happiness that brings us gratitude, it's gratitude that brings us happiness. Let's make this the cornerstone of our days, choosing to see the glass not just as half full, but as full of an incredible life-giving liquid we might otherwise take for granted. When we combine gratitude with self-discipline and a focus on our reactions, we begin to build something extraordinary: personal excellence. The Stoics believed that virtue, living with wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation, was the only true good. It wasn't about being better than others. It was about being the best version of yourself. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, spent his evenings not on leisure but on self-reflection, striving to align his actions with his values. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That's the essence of personal excellence. It's not a debate, it's an action. It's about embodying your values every single day. This isn't about perfection, it's about direction. It's about setting internal standards based on your own values, not on the applause or criticism of the world. It's about knowing who you are, accepting your strengths and weaknesses, and taking consistent, deliberate steps toward improvement. Personal excellence is most visible in how you handle failure. Do you crumble or do you get back up? Analyze what went wrong and try again with new wisdom. As Aristotle said, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. This also means cultivating a growth mindset. It's the belief that you can develop your abilities through dedication and hard work. It's embracing challenges, persisting through setbacks, and seeing effort as the path to mastery. Personal excellence is also about authenticity. It's being true to yourself and your values, even when it's unpopular. It's making choices that reflect your true self and being proud of the journey, struggles, and all. It ties back to gratitude, appreciating where you are right now on that journey. So let's commit to this. Let's stop comparing ourselves to others and start competing with the person we were yesterday. Let's set our own standards and take pride in the quiet, consistent work of becoming. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being proud of the person you are and the life you are actively building. This brings us to a monumental liberation. In a world where our worth is often measured in likes, followers, and external approval, the Stoic path offers a radical alternative. Your worth is not up for public vote. It is inherent. It is defined by your character, your actions, and your integrity, not by the fluctuating opinions of the crowd. The Stoics understood this deeply. They saw that chasing external validation is like chasing the wind, exhausting and pointless. Marcus Aurelius observed this human paradox. We love ourselves more than anyone, yet we value the opinion of a stranger more than our own. Think about how often you've let a single critical comment ruin your day, while 100 compliments faded into the background. We give our power away. Seneca argued that a life shaped by the expectations of others is no life at all. True contentment, he believed, comes from within, from living in accordance with your own principles. Epictetus taught that worrying about what others think is a waste of precious mental energy, precisely because it's outside our control. So how do we break free? First, you must internalize that you are the author of your own story. You get to define what success and worth mean to you. Ground your self-esteem in the things you can control: your effort, your kindness, your honesty, your resilience. Second, practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, whose life am I living? Am I making choices based on my own desires, or am I trying to fit into a mold created by someone else? Third, embrace your imperfections. Authenticity is not about being flawless. It's about being real. It's about being a work in progress and being okay with that. This vulnerability is magnetic. It attracts the people who will appreciate the real you. Let's commit to valuing ourselves for who we truly are, building an inner fortress so strong that the fleeting opinions of others can't even scratch the walls. Let your authenticity be your guide. Now, to live authentically, to build that inner fortress, you must learn to dance with one of life's only constants: change. Everything around us is in a state of perpetual flux. Our bodies, our relationships, our careers, the very planet we stand on. Fighting this current is a recipe for exhaustion and disappointment. Accepting it, even embracing it, is the key to flow and freedom. The Stoics saw change as the very rhythm of the universe. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." This isn't passive resignation. It's a profound trust in the process of life. It's understanding that every change, whether we label it good or bad, is a thread in the tapestry of our unique story. Seneca warned against getting too attached to any one state of being because change is inevitable. Clinging to how things should be is a surefire path to suffering. He advised cultivating flexibility and seeing change as essential for growth. Epictetus's core teaching, focus on what you can control, is the ultimate tool here. You can't control the fact that things change, but you can control your attitude towards it. You can choose to see change as an opportunity for renewal, a chance to learn, a door opening where one just closed. How do we become more accepting of change? First, by acknowledging its inevitability and naturalness. It's the universe's way of keeping things fresh. Second, by practicing mindfulness. Being present helps you appreciate the current moment without clinging to it, making it easier to let go when it naturally passes. Third, by actively seeking the lesson in every shift. Ask, what new path is this change revealing? This turns the fear of change into the excitement of discovery. Modern psychology agrees. Viewing change as an opportunity, not a threat, dramatically reduces anxiety and builds resilience. Let's welcome change, not as something to be endured, but as the very engine of a rich, evolving, and adventurous life. Finally, all of this inner work culminates in one beautiful outward expression: compassion. We are not isolated islands. We are all in this together, navigating the same unpredictable human journey. The Stoics, for all their talk of self-mastery, placed immense value on our connection to others. They saw humans as social creatures designed to work together for the common good. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings no benefit to the bee." Our own well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of those around us. True strength is not just standing alone. It's about reaching out a hand. Seneca championed kindness and generosity as natural human instincts. He argued that by helping others, we also heal ourselves. He even encouraged extending empathy to those who have wronged us, recognizing that their harmful actions stem from their own inner struggles. This doesn't mean accepting abuse, but it means seeking to understand the root of the conflict with compassion. Epictetus taught us to try and see the world from another's perspective, to understand their reasons, their pains, and their motivations. This is the essence of empathy. How do we live this? It starts with truly listening, not waiting for your turn to speak, but genuinely hearing someone else's story, their joy, their fear, their hope. It's about putting yourself in their shoes. It's about small daily acts of kindness, a genuine compliment, a few minutes of your time, a simple "I'm here for you." These acts, small as they seem, are the threads that weave a strong, resilient community. They signal to another person that they are seen, they are valued, they matter. As Aristotle noted, true friendship is built on this mutual empathy, sharing in each other's sorrows and celebrating each other's joys. Modern psychology confirms that compassion isn't just good for the world, it's good for us. It lowers stress, increases our sense of purpose, and deepens our own happiness. So let's be each other's anchors. Let's spread kindness intentionally. In doing so, we don't just make the world a little softer for others. We find deeper meaning and connection for ourselves. And to ensure we stay on this path, to make sure we're sailing and not just drifting, the Stoics practiced one final essential ritual: reflection. Taking a deliberate pause to look back on the day, to review our actions, our thoughts, and our progress. In a world that never stops moving, this practice is our anchor, ensuring we're moving in the direction of our true values, not just being swept along by the current. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is literally a journal of this practice, an emperor taking time to examine his own soul. He knew that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Reflection is how we audit the quality of those thoughts. Seneca recommended a daily self-assessment, asking yourself, what ailment of yours have you cured today? What vice have you resisted? In what way are you better? These aren't questions for self-flagellation, but for self-awareness and growth. Epictetus encouraged his students to end each day with a review, asking what they did well, what they did wrong, and what they left undone. This is the compass that keeps us on course. How do we do this in modern life? It's simple. Dedicate 5 minutes each evening. You can do it mentally, but writing it down is more powerful. Ask yourself, what went well today? What was a challenge? And how did I handle it? What could I have done differently? What am I grateful for today? This isn't about beating yourself up over mistakes. It's about recognizing them as the best possible learning opportunities. Approach this review with the same kindness you'd offer a close friend. Aristotle believed that an unexamined life is not worth living. This reflection is the essence of living consciously, of steering your own ship. It's a practice that aligns you with your values, clarifies your purpose, and ensures you're not just passively experiencing life, but actively shaping it. Let's make this our nightly ritual, turning the chaos of the day into the clarity of self-knowledge. For it is in knowing ourselves that we find the path to true fulfillment. Each of these principles is more than just ancient history. They are practical, powerful tools for navigating modern life. They are hacks for your mind, for your heart, for your soul. Remember, it's not the smoothness of the road that defines your journey, but the strength you build along the way, the wisdom you gather, and the compassion you share. Every challenge, every moment of reflection, every act of kindness is a deliberate stroke on the canvas of your life. So let's not just exist. Let's live with vibrant intention and unshakable authenticity. As we wrap up today, don't let this inspiration fade when the video ends. On your screen right now, you'll see a curated playlist, a treasure trove of insights, stories, and strategies to help you master these principles and build a life of profound resilience and peace. Click on it, dive deeper, and continue sculpting the most authentic version of yourself. Together, let's keep growing, keep reflecting, and keep embracing the magnificent complexity of this life. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video resonated with you, please hit that like button. It really helps more people discover Stoic Mindset Mastery. And don't forget to subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Until we meet again on the next step of our path, remember to live not for the applause, but for the cause of being your most genuine, most powerful self. Take care.